What's going on, my name's Acer Eclipse, and today we're doing a little bit of a different video here today. It's not going to be your typical Castleminer Z video, but today we're going to be rating all the major indie games on the Xbox 360 marketplace that used to be there. Some of these you might remember, such as Castleminer, Xenominer, Total Miner, Murder Miners, all that stuff. But yeah, today we're going to be rating them all from S to D tier. I don't think any of these games really deserve F tier. I think F tier would be for the indie games that nobody knows about and all that kind of stuff. So here we go. So I put every single indie game that I own personally on this list as well. Like, you know, the co-op zombie game. That is not a indie game that most people have, but I have it. So we're going to be rating that as well. Now, some of these I do not own, such as Avatar's Snowball Fight, or Avatar Paintball, or Avatar Laser Wars. But, I mean, those are very notable games. So I put some of the more games that, you know, people would want me to put on this list here. So we're going to start off here with Castleminer here, and I'm going to explain, you know, like, I'm going to give it whatever out of 10, and then we're going to go from there. So Castleminer, I think it deserves S tier, because Castleminer is like, I mean, it came out, like, what is it, like a year before Minecraft even came out on the 360, so, I mean, very small team of developers, Digital DNA, I mean, they made a game that was almost just as good as Minecraft, you know, if the whole, I mean, they had a whole bunch of blocks in there, so much random blocks, but I mean, there's so many things you could build in there, right? So, I mean, it's pretty crazy. So, I mean, you know, I'd probably consider that an S tier. There was some stuff that could be improved, but I mean, I think overall as an indie game for 360, definitely it's top tier right there. Avatar's Snowball Fight, never seen this game before. Actually, I mean, I've seen a little bit of it. It's very similar to Avatar Paintball. I don't know. I think I might have to put this in the S tier because it's kind of just one of those like early indie games that just really failed to innovate from its predecessor, Avatar Paintball. So that's that. Xenominer, graphically wise for an indie game, amazing, dude. I mean, me, I tell you, dude. I mean, this game, I mean, it's just like, oh man, dude. I mean, they had the whole picture of Saturn or whatever that planet is. I mean, that's a great skybox, and I mean, the graphics are pretty cool. Gameplay's pretty good. I played the PC port of it, which is still in development. So the multiplayer didn't really work for me. But, I mean, as the PC port, probably maybe a... Ooh, it's like right here, so we gotta determine if we want it to be an A tier or a B tier. Oh, man. Gosh. You know, graphically wise, honestly, I'm gonna put it in the A tier. Alright, that's that. So right now we have 3 of them. And we're going to be rating Castleminer a... Now, I mean, keep in mind this is on an indie game scale. We're going to be rating Castleminer a 9 out of 10. Xenominer a 7 out of 10. And Avatar Snowball Fight maybe like a 4 or 5 out of 10. Here we go. Castleminer Warfare. Castleminer Warfare, PC port's absolute garbage. I mean, if it was a PC port, it'd be going down here. I do not know why all this stuff's like going like crazy like that. That's alright though. But yeah, man, for the 360 port, I think I might have to put it at a comfortable. Ooh, man. Probably a B tier, because I mean, leveling up in Castleminer, at least on the PC version, and I mean, I guess nowadays, if you're playing the game nowadays, it's a pain because you have to get all your buddies, and it just takes like. I mean, it feels like a chore nowadays. But back in the day, whenever, like, you know, you'd actually be able to grind out, right here. But right now in 2020, right there. Total Miner. Let me just tell you on this. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. At some points, Total Miner is harder than Punch-Out to beat Mike Tyson in. I swear to God. Some of the monsters in the game are just way too overpowered. Like, way, way, way too overpowered. Because, oh my God, dude. It's just like... I don't even get it, dude. It's just, I mean, you know, like, the game's enjoyable. Very, very good block variety. But, I mean, the monsters are too hard. But, I mean, I guess if you have it on peaceful, it'll be an A tier. But there's no multiplayer. So, it'd more be like right here. But we're just going to put it in an A tier, though, because the game is still really fun. Murder Miners. Murder Miners is a very interesting game of its own. Very, very innovative title. It didn't really copy the sandbox elements. Kind of did, but not really, though. It kind of took its own take on it. Definitely better than Castleminer Warfare by a long shot, in my opinion. That doesn't mean Castleminer Warfare is a bad game. I'm just saying Murder Miners is a lot more better. See, like Murder Miners has, it doesn't have complicated controls, but it has like really like, it's weird at times how to like kill people. I mean, it's not like 100% weird, but it's like kind of weird though, you know. So I'm gonna have to put this at probably an A tier there. Deadberg, oh man, this game was really, really good back in the day. I don't think it's really supported anymore. But I mean, Deadberg, oh man, okay, this game, you can honestly play this game forever, honestly. I mean, as each day goes on, it gets really harder. I mean, it gets harder and harder. But I mean, realistically, I mean, you know, I could still probably play this game for hours upon ends, like a Pokemon game. So I mean, I had to put on an A tier as well. Oh man, the co-op zombie game. This is one of those games I thought that would be really interesting as a 12-year-old, but when I loaded it up, I realized that was not the case. And the co-op zombie game, let me explain this to you real quick. So imagine like Mortal Kombat Sega CD type of load times to get into a level, and or like Lego City Undercover on the 3DS type of load times as well, like that kind of stuff. And then the levels are really short, like they're on like a PS1 or something like that, or like on like an NES, like the original Super Mario Bros. And the game is not really innovative. It's just kind of just you shoot zombies, and there's not really an end goal. So I mean, I might have to put it at a D tier. Avatar Laser Wars, I've seen very, very little gameplay of this. I know it was a really popular indie game. So since I've never played it, kind of seems like it follows pretty much the same exact formula, kind of, but like a little more like disco-y type deal, like a lot more neon lights and stuff like that than Castleminer Warfare. But I mean, I'd probably put it in the Castleminer Warfare tier. Attack of the Zombie Horde. This is my personal favorite indie game here. Very, very great one. You can't really get it anymore, but if you still could, I would definitely recommend getting it. If you have a JTAG Xbox, oh man, dude, this is a must buy in my opinion. I mean, you know, I'm going to put it in the S tier, but I'm going to explain to you why. So, Attack of the Zombie Horde 2, it's just like, you don't see an indie game like it, honestly. Like, there's no other indie game that I can name off the top of my head that's like this one that does it as well. I mean, like, Castleminer and Attack of the Zombie Horde both, like, do, like, their, like, thing, like, so good. It's not even funny. It's like, what the heck? And I mean, there's just like, I mean, it's basically the same exact game every single time, but I mean, it's just like so intense whenever you get into it, so it doesn't really get boring. That's the thing. And it's like kind of like Dead Ops Arcade, but it's like 20 times more better. So, I mean, whenever an indie game developer does something like Dead Ops Arcade, but like 20 times better than a AAA studio, I think it deserves an S tier, in my opinion. Avatar Minor Paintball. Graphics are trash. FOV is trash. But the gameplay for a paintball shooter, oh man, what a game, honestly. I mean, you know, like, I used to play this game all the time. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to let nostalgia get to me because 360 games really give me nostalgia. But this game right here, I don't know what it is, but I mean, it gives me, you know, like, it's probably one of the most nostalgic titles, man. I don't know if that's because of the Xbox friends I met on it or not. But I mean, I think, you know, overall, because of the graphics and the FOV, I think it probably deserves a B tier. But, you know, if it was, like, just gameplay, definitely an A tier. Avatar Paintball, basically the same exact game as the Avatar Snowball Fight, but it was before it, released in 2011. It's a decent game, but, I mean, you know, I've only seen, like, one video of it. I mean, it's like a third-person type of paintball shooter. Probably honestly going to put it the same exact, actually, I don't know, it's like a B plus tier, so I guess if it's closer to the B, I guess I'll give it the B, but it's more like a C tier with Avatar Snowball Fight. Castleminer Z, I mean, come on now. We already know where that goes, but let me explain why that is, alright? So Castleminer Z doesn't have block variety, like it's Castleminer or Castleminer Warfare, but like, just like all the adventures you can go on, because, man, I think Castleminer is a pretty limited world you can go on. I think it's like a old Minecraft Pocket Edition type of world, right? You can go in. But Castleminer, yeah, I mean, this is infinite. I mean, eventually you get to Lantern Land, but I mean, That's like saying the Farlands biome in Minecraft wasn't unlimited. I mean, you still keep on going. And then, you know, all the monsters they added, I mean, that was 100% original, you know, from, like, all these, like, different games here, like, you know, from... There was no monsters in Castleminer, so, I mean, they had to, like, think of all these monsters. I mean, they're pretty generic monsters, like skeleton, zombie, alien, all that stuff, right? Your typical horror stuff. But, I mean, it was just a great game. I mean, you know, there's just, like, so much stuff you can do in it. I mean, you know, alongside Castleminer, and, these two games, I mean, alone, I mean, you know, they make up probably about maybe, I mean, if you were to survey 100 people that played, or I mean, maybe even like 1,000 people that played indie games on 360, I mean, these two games would be this title right here would be the names that you would hear. But I don't know about Attack of the Zombie Horde, but, you know, I mean, that's just my personal pick there. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, so let me rate all these here from scale 1 to 10. I'm going to say Castleminer 9. 9 as well. Actually, maybe like an 8, actually. Yeah, like 9, 8. I mean, you know, I'm not doing this off my opinion. I'm doing this off, like, you know, like, overall, you know, like, what I think. 9, 8. Probably 9 as well. I mean, I think I said, like, what is it, 7 here? Probably like a 7 as well. 8. Probably a 9 actually here for Deadberg. Castleminer Warfare. Right now, like a 2 or a 3, but back in the day, this is probably like at least like a good 8 or something like that. Not really seen anything on this game really. I mean, I've seen very little. I know what it is, obviously. I used to hear about it all the time. So probably a 7. 7 as well. Can't really rate this game, honestly. Maybe like a 6.5. This is probably like a 5, and this is like a 2. Because I mean, D tier. I mean, in order to get an indie game in D tier, I mean, this is sad. It's just really sad. But oh man, okay. So that was all the indie games that, you know, like, I think everybody, you know, widely accepts to be very popular indie games on the 360 that you could probably, if you were to give like 1,000 people to know, I mean, I'm pretty sure at least one of those 1,000 people would know what one of these indie games here was. But yeah, anyway, guys, we're on the video there. If you guys did enjoy and like some more content like this, make sure to subscribe. And besides that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.